So Arun, you here?
Arun, are you there? Hello?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we are able to hear you. Yeah, Shragna, you can go
Yep.
ahead.
All right, all right.
Yep.
So Arun, this will be kind of an introductory session on Angular 2 or 4 or Angular 5, uh, which is the latest version of Angular.
Okay.
So Angular, this version of Angular, it builds upon a concept which is known as web components. Okay, this is a
Okay.
new concept that is introduced and is still being introduced as part of HTML5 standards. So what web components are essentially, they are a style of coding, if I can put it that way, that allows you to build reusable elements or reusable widgets inside your HTML DOM. So what I mean by that is, if you're familiar with traditional HTML elements, right, say an input tag or
Yeah,
a
yeah.
div. Okay, so what web components mean is you can create your own elements. For example, you can create say my map element, and that will contain a map that you have defined, right?
Okay.
So Angular basically works by creating a tree of components. So there will be a base component, and then you'll chain components, there will be sibling components, there will be child components and all. Okay, and one more advantage from developers point of view while using Angular 2 as compared to an Angular 1 version is that Angular 2 uses TypeScript for development. Now if you are
Okay.
someone who's coming from a Java background, it will be easier for you to use TypeScript because it uses the IntelliSense, and up to some extent it provides a compile time check of your code. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so coming first, I'll talk about the installation part. So since you have to write your code on TypeScript, uh, this is kind of a language that is created by Microsoft, and it is open source. All right, and this is a superset of JavaScript. So internally, it will everything has to be JavaScript because our browser only reads JavaScript. Now, TypeScript needs to be converted to JavaScript before it runs on the browser. This conversion from TypeScript to JavaScript is done using Node.js. There are
Okay.
TypeScript.
Can you repeat this stuff once again?
Yeah, tell me.
1 second. 1 second.
Hmm. Yeah, tell me.
Yeah. Can you repeat once again? From TypeScript to conversion of JavaScript and all the stuff.
Yeah, so basically, since our intention is to run our web application on the browser, and our browser only understands JavaScript, right? But we are developing the application. In other words, we are writing our code in TypeScript. So there has to be a conversion from TypeScript to JavaScript. And this conversion is, in technical terms, it is called transpiling, and it has to be done through a Node.js environment. All right.
Okay.
So
Okay.
so the basic step or the first step would be to install Node.js. I'm not sure why this Node.js screen is blank for me, but
I think I have Node.js in my computer. Can you see my screen?
I don't think so. I have my system installed, my screen dead. So if you
Yeah,
have,
yeah.
so if you have Node.js installed, then there is a handy tool that is distributed and recommended as well by the Angular team. It is the Angular CLI, or the command line interface.
Okay.
Okay. So just give me a moment.
Yeah, just 1 second. I'm just opening my book and I'm just writing some stuff. Just give me one second.
Sure.
Yeah, go ahead, please.
Okay. Oh. Is my screen visible?
Yes, welcome's meeting. That's your screen, right?
No, that's not my screen.
I can see only that.
Stop the sharing.
Yeah.
Screen sharing.
Yeah. I'm starting the sharing.
Can you try to share again?
Yep.
You can see my screen, right?
Yes.
Okay. So once you have got your node installed, you can do something called npm and -v
To check whether the node was installed successfully or not.
That's right. And npm -v essentially gives the version of the node package manager that you have installed. So node package manager is again another node tool that comes packaged when you install node.js. Okay.
Okay.
So now coming to the part of installing the Angular CLI. So this is another Angular, another node package that will help you to rapidly develop your application, and also it gives a basic scaffolding for your Angular application. The boilerplate code and everything. So this is basically coming from a Java background and you have worked on Eclipse. When you do create new dynamic web project, you create a minimum package structure and all that, right? Where you can easily, you have places to put your classes, to put your dependencies and all. So this kind of thing will be created by Angular CLI. So first step would be to install your Angular CLI package. So the command would be npm, that is you're using the package manager. You want to install npm install
-g.
-g would mean it is installed globally. That is, if you notice in the command prompt, my current directory is d, dev, and a2. So if I do not use -g, it would be installed only in the a2 folder, and it would not be available in any other folder.
Sorry, -g is globally, right? So it is available throughout the system, local desk. Hello.
I'm sorry. Can you come again? You can come again.
Yeah. What does -g states? It is installing the complete platform globally, right?
Globally, yeah. Globally would mean like in any directory that you want. If I avoid using -g over here, right? If I only do say this, then it would install the Angular CLI, but it would only be available inside my A2 folder.
Okay, A2 folder. So your voice is not clear. I don't know why. So there is some disturbance in the voice. So I just understand up to like if we avoid -g, what will be the next point?
If we avoid -g, it would install the Angular CLI package inside the A2 folder, and it will not be available globally.
Okay. So A2 is like folder which is coming through Angular package itself.
A2 no, A2 is a folder that I have created.
Okay. I got you.
That is a place where I intend to place my
Okay. A2. I got you now. Okay.
So I already have CLI installed, so it shouldn't take much time in my system, but let's see.
Okay. And meanwhile, one question. So as we discussed that the main reason of using this Node.js is to convert like TypeScript stuff into JavaScript, right? So
Right.
this was like using from Angular 2 version, because Angular 2 is completely in the TypeScript.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the reason to convert the TypeScript into JavaScript for the web browsers. So that we are using Node.js as a server, right?
Node.js, there are a few tasks that Node.js does. First, as you mentioned, is acting as a server. But before that, there are some packages that helps it to convert TypeScript to JavaScript. Now, that is not the job of the server. Server would like act as serving the contents. Uh,
Okay. Then why don't we started using Node.js from Angular 1? Because Angular 1 will be in directly JavaScript.
yes, for Angular 1 as well, we could use Node.js as well, but over there was no, I mean, you did not need it to, compile anything, if I can put it anyway. If
Oh,
you, yeah, I mean, if you went through the official tutorials of Angular 1, right, the steps over there used Node, but that was only for managing the packages and running the development server. But over here, there is the additional tasks of compiling or transpiling TypeScript to JavaScript.
okay. Okay.
But that is completely invisible to the developer. Uh, we do not need to worry about that.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, so now that my CLI is installed, I'll go ahead and create a new project. So
Okay.
the CLI is available with the command prompt command of ng. I believe if I do ng and -v, I'll get a version confirmation
Okay.
of that ng
Okay.
is installed, and also the version that I'm using.
Okay.
Yeah, see, so that means that I have a CLI installed.
Okay.
Okay, so to create a new project using the CLI, we simply have to do ng new and project name. So let's name it demo Angular. I don't know if I already have that folder over here. Yeah, so it will be creating your folder structure. And
New like ng new project name.
ng new project name. That's it. Yeah, I'll just
Uh,
show the folder structure. I mean, I'll just go to Windows Explorer and show what it has done.
yeah. So it creates like one app module, app components, and one index HTML page.
Yeah, so if you can see in my screen, right, there will be a src folder, there will be e2e folder, you'll have this bunch of files,
Okay.
and there will be one node modules folder.
Okay.
Okay, so I'll start with package.json.
Yeah.
Mm,
And can you also help me out with using Maven, Jenkins, and like all those stuff? Like you have any hands-on like using Maven? I know like how to use, but I'm not that perfect. So just like if you just show me like just 10 minutes, it would be good. Like how to deploy and how to build a project by using Maven,
yeah, sure.
and like by using Jenkins, how to integrate the stuff and all the stuff. And
Yeah.
like as we discussed, we are using Intel IJ. So I think it would be also better if we discuss on Intel IJ too.
IntelliJ, I haven't installed it on my system yet, so maybe on the next session we'll go ahead and
Yeah,
start with IntelliJ.
yeah. Okay, that's fine.
Although my preferred uh, editor for developing with Angular 2 is VS Code, Visual Studio.
Yeah. So what is this Visual Studio? We have like two editors, I guess, right? Like starts with Slimline.
Visual Studio, this is Visual Studio Code. I believe there is another Visual Studio
Which is used for
are,
.NET.
yeah, dot used for C hash projects, I believe. But
So
this is more of an editor. We have our Notepad plus plus, right?
yeah.
So this is kind of Notepad plus plus with some additional features. We have a host of plugins that we can install to make our life easier.
Oh, okay. So it is used to develop the code, Angular
Yeah.
JS code.
Yes.
Then what is the purpose of Angular CLI? We can directly develop in the Angular CLI also, right?
No, CLI provides an interface to create this scaffolding. It will give you a built-in set of dependencies that you can use to build your projects without using CLI, right? You'll have to create all these folder structures. You have to create these files individually, put all those entries.
Oh, okay. Okay, so what does CLI do? It is kind of like Eclipse, where like by default project is developed by it. Some kind of like all this JSON file, HTML file,
Oh,
all this.
not exactly like Eclipse. It is a basically its full form is command line interface. So it's an interface that can be used to create the folder structure. So Eclipse gives you an environment as well, right? It's an development environment, but CLI gives you a tool that can be used to create the actual folders.
Oh, okay. So
So
in order to write the code, we use like Visual Studio Code, just editor.
yeah. That's right.
All right. And
Okay, so
we import all the dependencies from CLI itself, right?
yes, so what CLI this is the package.json that the CLI has prepared for us.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay, you opened
uh,
it in Visual Studio.
I have opened it in VS Code. Yes.
Okay.
Okay, I don't know why my screen froze. Okay, so package.json is an essential part of any project that runs on Node. It consists of the commands that can be used. If you can see over here, scripts, there are some commands: ng, start, build, test, lint, and e2e. These will correspond to a command that we will run on the command prompt. We'll come to that later. Now, most important part is the dependencies array over here.
Okay.
These are a minimum list of dependencies that the Angular CLI has provided so that we can kickstart our development. Now, as we go through our development, right, we would be needing newer packages, we would be needing newer dependencies, and we can go on adding them here.
Okay.
Okay.
But these are the basic dependencies which already created by CLI.
Yeah, that's right. And these are the dependencies that will be used during development time, and these files won't be packaged as part of the production build when we'll package this workspace for a production deployment. Everything that is defined over here, right? These won't be used in the production build.
These won't be used in production.
Yes, because these packages are essentially used for development purpose. For example, let me help you with it. Say a TypeScript. So what this TypeScript will do is it is kind of the transpiler that will convert your TypeScript to JavaScript. Now we won't need it while our Angular while our project is in production, because when we build our application for production, it is already compiled from TypeScript to JavaScript, right?
Okay.
So we won't need the TypeScript compiler anymore. Similarly, if
Okay.
you see, there are packages like Jasmine,
For testing.
Karma, and all, Protractor. So these are kind of, if you are familiar with JUnit, these are JUnit versions, if I can put it like that, unit testing
Unit
frameworks
testing
for
time. Okay.
unit testing framework for Angular. So we won't be needing them while our production app runs on
Okay.
production. Right? So
Okay.
there are that is why there are two arrays. So there are dependencies list and there are dev dependencies list.
Okay. Dev dependencies which are not required for development. Dependencies which can be also used for development. Sorry, which are not required. Dev dependencies which are not required for production.
That's right. Dependencies and dev dependencies both will be used for development. As you can see, of course, right, Angular core, Angular forms, everything, I'll come to them individually, but I mean, from the name itself, you can guess that these will be used, right?
Okay.
For development as well. So let me directly open the folder over here. Okay. Now, why do we use package.json advantage? So if you observe this node modules folder, you'll see there are a host of folders. It will be helpful if I go from Windows Explorer. There are 804 items currently, 804 folders. So if you are using an SVN or Git, uploading these many files will be quite difficult, and it's not practical. So what we will do while we use any version control tool is we will upload this package without the node modules folder. All right.
Okay.
So when I will be developing, I'll download this package from, I'll check out this package from version control and do an npm install that will install all my dependencies into node modules. Similarly, when you will again follow the same process. Okay, let me show you what I'm mentioning. So let's delete this node modules folder.
Okay. So whenever again we install npm, the node modules will be getting into our local disk.
Yeah, that's right. Because we already have a list of list of dependencies inside package.json, right? And these all these packages that are mentioned in node modules, mentioned inside package.json, all these are hosted in somewhere in the website, and our npm node package manager has the address from where it needs to pull those and download those.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, so now that now that we have a clear slate, so this will be the package structure. Whenever someone downloads or pulls the project from SVN or Git or whatever, and once downloading it, he has to install the dependencies using the command npm install.
Okay.
Npm install essentially reads your package.json file, goes to the dependencies and the dev dependencies.
No, so one second. So this will be the structure. So when we just check out from the any repository, right?
Yeah, that's right.
So you're saying that we will not like get all the Node.js dependencies. So what we have deleted. So again, what does this install will do? And just npm install will do.
Npm install will so npm, if you see, I'm running npm install from the folder demo Angular, right? If you can see in my command prompt.
Yes, yes.
So demo Angular is the one that I have opened in my Windows Explorer, and inside demo Angular there will be a package.json file that we have discussed, and npm install will read the list of dependencies from that package.json and will install them.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, so if you can see in the previous line over here, I had by mistake put npm install, tried to run npm install on the A2 folder. Now that does not have any package.json file, and it promptly threw me an error that no such file or directory,
Okay.
package.json. Let's go ahead and do package npm install in this folder.
Okay. So yeah, I understand clearly, but one small confusion. So what does it do actually? So we already have dependencies in Node.js, but we are just deleting to avoid like space in the repository. So once we check out from our project from given particular repository, so whatever we require dependencies, only we are installing only those dependencies. That's it, right?
That's right. That's right. Now, basically, over here, I deleted the node modules folder just to show you that how you can start with a clean slate. Now, if you are the one who is starting the project, then in most probably you'll be using the Angular CLI, and you will already have a node modules folder present. In that case, you won't be needing to remove them. But say you are working in a team with multiple members, right? And you have created this package, and you have uploaded it to Git or
Okay.
SVN. So while uploading, you will not be taking the node modules folder and uploading it to Git.
Okay.
Okay, so for example, if myself and you are in a team, and I have created this folder, this project using Angular CLI, I won't be uploading node modules folder to Subversion or Git. So when you will be downloading from Git, you won't be getting node modules, right? So you have to run npm install.
Okay, I got it.
Got it, right?
So my question is, so in order to save the memory, just whenever we have a packet.json in our downloaded stuff from the given repository, so at the time to work in order to work on that project, we also need like again dependencies. So for that purpose, we are just installing node modules again by using npm install command. That's it, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, those are like what we are installing now is like basic modules for for everyone, right? Not specifically.
This is a basic one that
Yeah.
comes with comes pre-packaged with Angular CL.
Okay,
Sorry.
okay, I got you. So whoever maybe if they will get like same node modules package itself,
Yeah,
dependencies
that's right.
itself. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
depending on the version of Angular CLI that we are using, right? Because,
Okay.
for example,
Okay.
in my office PC, I have an older version of Angular CLI, and I may have a different list of dependencies or a different version of the same dependency.
Okay. Okay.
One good thing about this npm install though is that once you already have this package downloaded and there are no more new dependencies added to package.json, you won't have
Mm-hmm.
to run this every time.
Okay. Okay. But how come we know like we have the new dependencies from which we uh, like which we downloaded from given repository?
Yeah, so you have to check in a situation where we are working with a team, right? You'll have to check if while checking out stuff from SVN, we'll have to just check if there are any changes to the package.json dependencies list. So that is something that we need to keep in mind.
Yeah.
Or else you can run the npm install anyways, but just to save time, you can have a look over there on the package.json file.
Yeah. Yes. Okay.
So if you see this npm install takes a bit of time, so it will just save
So
you.
if you have a look on package.json file, if you find any new dependencies, then better to go and install again node modules.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
Let it download. Maybe I'll. By the time that downloads, let's go ahead and work on another folder that I had created. So this is.
So this package.json is like main folder for Angular CLI.
Main file, you can say, list of dependencies. Are you familiar with Maven? Have you?
Yes. It's kind of like pom.xml.
Yeah. So in pom.xml we define our the list of jars that we need, right, for Java project, and then we do a Maven build or something, or Maven install that would install download our packages, jar packages.
Yes.
Right. So this is essentially kind of the same thing. So just like in Maven pom.xml, we define the jars and their jar version. Similarly, in package.json, we define dependencies and their version.
Okay.
Oops. Oh, turn as an administrator. Okay, I'll work with another project that I had previously created. This is also the basic backbone project that CLI delivers us.
Okay, you have created it, right?
Yeah. So this is all. All right. So apart from creating the folder structure, Angular CLI gives us a working application, a one-page application that actually runs on your browser.
Okay.
All right. So
Sorry. Can you repeat once again?
yeah. So what Angular CLI delivers is not only this folder structure and a list of dependencies, but an actual application that will run on your browser. So let me show you how you can run this application.
Okay. So this is the one you have created it?
I just made a ng new demo and
Okay.
create.
Yeah. So we have to run it from command line or we have to run it from Node.js one?
Oh, no, Node.js runs from command line, so we'll have to use.
Okay. I got you. So we have to go for Node.js directly, right? First of all.
So first you'll come up with your command prompt. All right. Now, since we have Angular CLI installed globally, right? We'll have this command ng available globally as well. The same command that we used for creating this project in the first place.
Okay. So now you're going to your project. CD development is your project.
Yes, I'm going into the project, and to run the development server, the command is
okay, ng server. So we don't need of any like particular path because we install globally.
Yes, we do need particular path while we are running our application, because I mean, to create a new project we can use ng from anywhere, but in order to run our particular application, we'll have to go to the path where our application resides. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. So we'll just do an ngserv.
Just ngserv. That's it.
Yeah, that's it. That will internally, that will as step 1 convert your TypeScripts to JavaScripts and then launch a development server.
So where do it launch? On the same address, on the same path, in the demo itself.
Yes, I'll just show you how you'll launch. In fact, you can find the URL in this command prompt.
Okay. Go ahead. So once it is done with the conversion, that particular file will be run in the web application, right? Web browser, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. That's nothing but HTML page.
That's nothing but HTML and JavaScript. No TypeScript in there.
Okay.
I'm not sure why it is taking this time. I usually work in Ubuntu, so it's the first time. In fact, I'm running these on Windows, so bear with me. I don't know what is happening. Let's try another city.
I think it's starting now.
No, I'm trying on a different folder. Not sure what happened over there. Not sure if the packages were not properly installed. I'll try once again. So ideally, it should have run, and your application would have been available at localhost / 4200.
Okay. So what is that?
So if you can see, I had run my server previously. Not sure why it's not running. So if you had, if this ngserv was successful, I'll try again later. And if I hit this localhost 4200 in my browser, I would see this application. This is a running Angular application that Angular CLI prepares for us. We can just start adding our stuff over there to develop our application.
Oh, okay. So this is a basic application. So for that, the address is like localhost @4200.
Yeah, that's right.
It uses internally npm like NodeJs server to load that application.
I'm sorry. Can you come again?
By using what server that particular application will be loaded on the address of.
It uses a Node.js server, Node Lite server.
Okay, so it's what kind of file? It's a similar kind of like var file.
Oh, internally, so this the development server implementation, right? It is. I mean, I haven't dug deep into it, but we do not need to go to those files. because all the files are available to us in this browser as TS files, and you can of course see those files on the browser, but those are kind of more gibberish to the developer.
Okay, but what is the main file loaded by that server? One is like HTML and one
Uh,
is like JSON, right?
yeah, I'll come to that. So the server is just loading up. If you can see over here, server is listening on port. Okay, it's scrolled up. NG live development server is listening on localhost 4200.
Okay.
Okay, so I can go ahead and reload it. And this is the application running now. Coming to your point as to which page actually loads. Okay, so what Angular builds is something called a single page application. Okay,
Okay. Yeah.
so
1 second, brother. So I'm getting
yeah,
some notifications. I'm just getting distracted.
all right.
Yeah. Sorry for that. Yeah.
No problem. So what Angular creates is I mean helps us build is something that is called a single page application. Okay, now why it is a single page? Because it essentially has a single HTML file, a full HTML file. Okay, and that is the index.html. Now in this project created by Angular CLI, if you go into src, you'll find it index.html. So that is the only page that loads in the browser.
Okay.
Okay.
So it's kind of like main method in the Java programming.
Yes, you can say like that.
So
But if
whatever we require, we just all the stuff we have to declare only in this HTML page.
we won't have to declare it programmatically speaking, we won't have to declare it in this page, but from the point of view of the browser will load everything in this index.html page.
Okay. Okay. So if we
And
just
I'll
mention if we just mention
I'll
in this page, that is good enough. We can declare somewhere else.
yeah, that's right. So like I
Okay.
mentioned, the first point about web components, right? We can build our own HTML tags. Okay,
Yeah. Yeah.
so if you can see over there, app root over here is a custom HTML tag that is created. This is not something native to HTML5 or something, right? This is a custom one.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Uh,
That is user
so
custom one.
yes, this is a custom one, and basically your application will branch out from app root. App root is like a parent component, and we'll be creating child components, sibling components, but everything will be wrapped inside app root component.
Yeah. Perfect. Got you.
So let's move to this app root component. Inside the app folder, so all the TypeScript code that we will be writing will reside inside our app folder. Okay.
Okay.
Now inside app folder, there is a file app component.ts.
Okay.
Okay.
TypeScript. Yep. Okay.
Yes. So this is a class, and it is a special class because it is annotated with this inbuilt at component annotation.
Okay.
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 Now as soon as I give an at component annotation, Angular will treat it as a new component that it can use. And if you can see in the selector variable, we have assigned the app root value. Okay. And this is the same that is used over here. Right.
Okay.
Now if I change it to my root.
So we should also change their my root.
Yeah, you're right.
So selector is nothing but like a variable declaration where it is
Yes.
like nothing but selector is nothing but like a user defined tag declaration or user defined component declaration.
Yeah, that's right.
So that should be declared under the rate of component itself.
Yes, inside at the rate of component there is a key called selector where we need to define the name of the selector. Okay, so this selector will be used inside the HTML to identify our component, our web component.
Okay, so whatever the name we just gave there, by using that name we can use in index.html.
Yeah, so I just change it to my root and this is still working now.
Yeah, exactly. But if we keep like my root here and like app root there, if it will not, I think it will not load, right?
Yeah, it won't find it. And the best thing about this development server is if we make changes, any change to our code, it reloads automatically. You won't have to.
Oh, okay, that's weird. That's great.
And if you see the console, see it shows that the selector my root did not match any element. It threw out an error.
Okay.
Okay. Now the next key that we see over here is the template URL. All right. So.
Okay, and one more question. So whatever we declare in the selector, the root must be compulsory mention. Root.
The selector.
Yeah. So we just change like
the root over here. You want to say?
Exactly. Yep.
No. This is entirely. I mean, it depends on the developer how he wants to put it. So it's
okay. Then there is so whenever we just get a new project, then first we have to concentrate on app.components itself. So whatever we declare here, we can just directly use that stuff in index.html.
Yes, we can. For example, in my yes, for example, in my application that I'm working, it's called as an e-delivery application, right? So I had named it as ed root. Since this is the root, and yeah, it sounds good. The root stuff. You can name it as you like, but since this is the root component, if I can put it like this, I mean, I prefer it to name it as root as well.
Okay, so I just got you, but there is no such mandatory thing like we have to mention root itself, right? So we can mention anything else.
Yes. In fact,
root is like easy to identify, easy to understand.
Easy to identify. In fact, down the line we'll be using. We have to use other names as well, because not all of our components will be the root component, right? Only one component can be the root component.
Oh, okay.
So then for our component, every component will have a template, right? Because we have to show something on the browser. A template is nothing but an HTML, but since I mentioned previously, we only have one HTML, right?
Okay.
So this HTML is a partial HTML. If you notice, it does not have an opening and closing HTML tag, does not have a body tag. It is kind of, an incomplete HTML.
Okay.
And it is called a partial HTML.
Okay. This index.html is the main HTML.
Index.html is the main HTML. That is, it will contain the HTML tag, it will contain head tag and body tag.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, I got you. Okay.
Now, what Angular does internally is it looks for ed root. Okay, it sees that it has something called ed root. All
Okay.
right. Now it will search through the files and look for a component that has a selector called ed root.
Okay.
Now it has found, suppose now it has come to this app component, and it sees that it has a selector called ed root. Now it will
Okay.
look to its template URL, and it sees that it's app component HTML. So what it does is it loads this app component, this portion of code, and puts it inside ed root.
Okay. Okay. So rather
Okay.
than declaring there, we can also directly write those stuff in inside ed root also. But in order to avoid confusion, we are doing like creating separate app.component.html, and we are just going to that.
Yeah, that's right. If you see the HTML content that is rendered on the browser, uh, you see we have the ed root over here.
Yes. Yes.
See the highlighted, and Angular insert some code by itself that is used by Angular itself. I mean, all these code are you see ng, host, and everything. Those are nowhere mentioned in my code, right? But it is installed automatically by the by Angular.
Okay.
So I mean, as from development point of view, we can ignore them. Now the thing that I wanted to show you is the stuff over here within the ed root. If you see, we have a div that says text align, and we have h1 welcome app, right? You can see those, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
uh, just give me a moment. Yeah, sorry about that.
No problem.
So these stuff, div, h1, h2, and ul, you will be able to find it inside app.component.html. Okay, we have div, we have h2, ul, right? And if we change the value over here, if you can see here are some links to help you, and
Yeah.
this is reflected over here. Here are some links to help you. Now let me change this text. Please follow these links and save it, and should reload, and you see we have the change reflected in the browser.
Yes. Okay. Okay.
Okay, and from a convention point of view, the class name that contains our root element, I prefer to keep it as app component itself. Okay.
Okay.
And I advise anyone who works with me to keep it as app component, kind of universal. And the ts file should be named app.component.ts. Okay, and the corresponding
one second, please. Anna, class phone, Anna. Yeah. Yes. Hello. Hello.
yeah, I'm here.
Yes. Yes. Go ahead, please. So what we are discussing?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was mentioning about the naming conventions. Okay, so our component class should have a suffix of a component, you know, as a convention to easily identify them.
Okay,
Okay.
and one more thing. So one small confusion. So whenever we want to declare some components in the same like giving like app roots and all the stuff, we have to go for a app like app folder where we have like app.components where we can declare like how many components we require, like not only single component by taking like we can declare like lot many components, right?
That's right. That's right.
So
I'll come to that.
in
Yeah.
that what we mentioned the template URL, that particular like child HTML pages will be in like app.component.html code.
Yeah. That's right. You're right. You're
So
right.
so what
So
is about this app.module? So what we do that in the module, like you have like any
okay.
folder like app modules? Yeah, app
Yeah.
module.ts.
Yes. So before I come to that, let me just mention about this naming convention. So my TS file, the component TS file should have the class name should have a suffix of component, and the TS file should have a suffix of dot component dot TS. And before dot, you'll have to put
Sorry, hello, your voice is not clear.
trucks
Hello.
component. Yeah, am I audible?
Yeah, just yeah. Now it is clear. I just missed your line. Can you repeat once again?
Yeah. So if you can see, the class name over here is app component, right?
Okay.
So say we are creating a truck component. Okay. So we
Okay.
would be naming our class as a truck component, and
Okay.
the file name should be mentioned truck.component.ts. So the name of the component, a period sign, then component, and then .ts.
Okay. 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 So name of the Okay. So the name of the class that nothing but truck and dot sign and which is suffixed with like component dot js ts.
Component.ts. Yeah, ts.
Okay. And one more small question. So in this file, we are just declaring component by using at the rate component annotation. Again,
Yeah, yeah.
again, again, for what reason we are declaring the class?
So, since TypeScript has provided a kind of object-oriented concept, JavaScript by itself is not object-oriented. Okay. Now TypeScript has introduced uh, the concept of object-oriented inside within the JavaScript framework. Okay.
Okay,
Now,
okay,
whenever we are talking about object oriented, we need classes, right? We only can create objects
okay,
of classes. Now
okay,
this add component annotation is a special annotation that lets the Angular code know that this app component class should be treated as a web component.
oh, okay, okay,
Okay.
okay, okay,
Okay, another thing related to naming convention is this template URL. So you can see my file name for component class is app.component.ts. So my HTML would be named app.component.html.
okay,
Similarly, if I had a class called truck component, I would have an HTML called truck.component.html.
okay,
Okay. Now coming to the app module. So Angular provides a coding structure where we can modularize our code. We can create components, a bunch of components, and put them in a module. We can create another one branch and put them in another module. So module is kind of if I can put it in Java terms, a package where a group of component will reside, right?
yeah, okay, I got you. Yeah,
Okay, now a basic step or a minimum step that is needed to create a component, uh, I mean, apart from of course creating these files, is I need to mention that component class this app component inside the declarations, this declarations array. So app module will to mark any module, to mark any class as a module, we'll use the ng module annotation. Just like to declare a class as component, we use the component annotation. To declare any class as module, we'll use the ng module annotation.
Okay. Okay. So in order to declare a particular component in app.component, we use like @component, and we just start declaring like a lot of how many components we need. So in order to use those components in the module page, so we have to start declaring that by using like ng module and start using that already declared component.
Yes. So there is an array. This is basically an array, you see.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
And if there are multiple components, we'll be declaring them inside these declarations array one by one, separated by comma.
Okay, so that those particular components also declared by in app.component, right?
No. Let me quickly go ahead and create a component for you. Okay.
Okay. Because you said like if we use multiple components, so we have to declare that multiple components in the app.components page, right? Before using it in module.
No. So app.component is our root component. We'll be creating child components to them.
Okay.
Let me show you how we can create a child component. So
okay,
let me go ahead and new file, say child dot
component.ts. Okay.
So if you have noticed, right, I mentioned that TypeScript provides us a compile time check for our code. So you see this add component. Currently, there is no definition of what add component is. I mean, how it is defined. Now, app component is defined inside this Angular core folder.
Okay, so I just wanted to ask that question itself. So, like we just define the components by using @component, and we just started using it by export because due to for object-oriented program. Again, what is for the top line? What we are importing that component? Import component from Angular core.
So if you have used Java or Spring, right? Say an auto word annotation.
Yep, auto word. Yep.
Yeah. So auto word auto word is if you go to low level, it is a class that is defined somewhere within the Spring jars, and you have to import that auto word class as well.
Yeah, for automatic creation of object inside, for the automatic configuration of beans internally.
That's right. In fact, say I have a class A and I want to create, and I also have another class B, right? And inside B I need to create an object of class A.
Yeah.
So in that case, I'll have to import that class A, right, at the top of the code.
Yeah.
So this is something similar. So add component will has a special meaning, but that meaning is defined inside Angular.core package.
Okay. Okay. Perfect. I got you.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
I understand.
So
Okay.
similarly, I have created a child component over here. I have named it ed child.
Okay.
Okay. And I have attached this child.component.html as its template. And inside
Okay.
this template, I have this simple message.
Okay. Okay.
Now, as I mentioned, we have to declare, put it inside the declaration part of my module.
Okay, but whether we updated that ed child in app dot component dot ts.
Yeah, that's right. I haven't done that. I'll come to that. So
Okay.
first, let's create this.
Yeah, module. Okay.
Inside the module, I've declared this component, and
Okay. So I understand till now very clearly. I have
mhm.
one small question. So how many Telugu?
No, I don't.
Okay. So how like if there is a need like declaring a lot of child components like component 1 to 10, so that many components should be that many component dot ts file should be declared.
Yes, yes. I mean, just
And
like you do in Java, right? If you need 10 classes, you need to have. I mean, as per the best practice, you need to have 10 classes. Now, if you want,
so they
uh,
like there is no like my question is like is there is any option of doing by taking only one main component dot ts file, because we are already differentiating like the child one and the parent one by using root, right? So by using root the Angular knows, oh, this is like parent one, whatever
yeah,
uh,
you're
all the components coming next to the root will act as child automatically.
yeah. So I believe you are asking something like another component in this same class, something like this. Say I
Yeah.
have this one ts file. Yes, we can do that. We can. I mean, syntactically we can do that, but as your application grows, right?
Yeah.
You'll ideally need around 50, 60 components, and if you keep all of them in one file, it would be quite difficult to manage end of the day.
Okay. Okay. But we can, but it works, right, if you do that.
Yeah, syntactically it is all right.
Okay, okay, got you. Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. So inside app module, I have put this component in the declarations array. Right now, as
Okay.
I have mentioned, I have to connect this with my app component, with my base component, ed child, the ed child component.
Yes.
So how do I do that? I will just insert this, say, somewhere in the template. Okay. Just like inside my index.html, I have a component mentioned,
Root one.
uh,
Okay.
root one mentioned in index.html, and since this is my base component, all my child components will be based out of this app component, right?
So sorry, I did not understand here.
So this is the app component is my root component, and inside the index.html I will only mention app.com, the selector of app.component,
Okay, the root one.
the root one, and everything else, every new component will be changed from app.component. So we can have another component, and we can mention over here, say, another child, right? So
Okay, so
so
whenever Angular will load, it will be directly going to only one file internally, whether it will check first whether it has like child or not by using app.component.html.
yeah,
So
that's right.
that's the reason we are just declaring that HTML stuff in ed.child.
Yeah, yeah,
So
exactly.
whenever the Angular CLI comes to know, oh, it has one child, so again it will be internally will be it will be checking for ed.child dot like ed child dot component dot ts file.
Yeah,
That's it,
it
right?
won't be. It
Because
won't be for a TS file directly. It will look for a class that has a selector called edChild.
oh, okay, okay. It will look for the class that has a selector child. Yeah.
Okay, that is from Angular's point of view, but from a developer's point of view, say we'll directly look for the child dot
TS.
component. Yeah,
Yeah, because
yeah,
those are declared inside TS itself, right? So
that's right, that's right. So if you
okay.
can see, I have a hello from child component over here, and I have included the child component inside my app component HTML,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
And
So,
if I now
and
go
one
to
more,
my,
sorry for interrupting, one small question. So even though how many TS files and even though how many or like child will be coming, we should only declare that only in one component.html file. There is no need of creating a lot of HTML files, right? Only two HTML files entire the project. One is the main index.html and the another is like to declare child HTMLs.
I mean, uh, this again comes to the best practice. Only two HTML will drive the project, but again, ideally you'll have more HTMLs, multiple pages, and you will need multiple components, and for
Okay,
each
okay.
component,
Okay, so there is answer in my question itself once seeing all these folders. Okay, I'm clear now. I'm sorry for that. I'm good.
okay, okay, okay. So
I understand. Yeah.
now just to confirm that our change works, see, it's hello from child component that comes on the browser.
Yeah. So internally it is loading root component in which we also declared child and it is just displaying in our application.
That's right, that's right. So this is like chaining of web components.
Yep, exactly. Makes sense.
Okay, so that is basically most of the stuff about, not most of the stuff, a beginning about components. I'll maybe from next session I'll dig deep on components, and I'll discuss about other parts as well. Just like in Java, you have controllers, right? From
Yes, yes.
controllers, we have the service layer where we
Yeah.
write the business logic. Similarly,
Yes.
for over here as well, we'll have a component that is the interface with the user, that basically provides interface with the user, right? It is providing us an interface with the user, right?
Okay.
And we will have services that will deal with processing the inputs from the user, or processing the data that we display to the user.
Okay.
So other than components, we have services as well. So from next session, I'll continue with those as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, sure. And it will be, I will also have a look on the videos and it will be good if we discuss like for 10 minutes like how to use Maven SVN repository and what are the functions, because it's being my first project, even though how many videos I see in YouTube. So if I interact with you in this way, it would be better enough for me. I can just remember and I can just start coding also. It's very good talking with you about this subject. I understand each and every step very clearly what's going on internally also.
All
So
right.
okay,
Glad you were helpful. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So because before the task gets started, if I'm gets very familiar about this all this stuff, that is easy to understand for me, and like I can also share the same requirement with you, and then from that point of view, we can just start working until I get practice. Practice. I
Sure,
hope
sure,
you
sure.
you got my point. Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, so we will also have same kind of discussion in the Angular stuff also, and from them, sorry, in Java stuff, and from that point of view, we can just start developing small project and discussing all like two-way binding and all those stuff in Angular 2 and Angular 4.
Right, right, right.
Yes. So if we are available for the weekends, we can spend some more time, like continuously having like 2 hours or 3 hours. So we can like what we say, we can cover a large amount of task if you if it is okay for you.
Oh, I mean,
Yeah, I'll talk to
what
both of
is
you on
today?
this, Arun, and we'll let you know, okay?
Yeah, okay.
And
That would
even
be
I'll
great.
create a
Okay.
group
Then
today, okay?
okay, so and what will be the tomorrow's time? Same or 8 or
Shrehagna?
Ideally, I mean, I'd like to start 7:30 at my time because that gives. I mean, I have to get ready for office as well.
Okay,
okay,
we'll
that's
start
fine.
tomorrow 7:30, okay?
Yeah, just let me know, Kalyani, because as we discussed yesterday, you said that you're gonna create a group, but there is
Yeah,
nothing
that's true.
in
That's
now.
true. We'll talk with you after this call, okay?
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, yeah, yeah.
Perfect. All right, all right. Nice talking to you, Ismail. Yep,
Thank you.
no problem. Yep.
Bye, both of you.
Yeah, bye.
Bye bye.